You're still listening to this, by the way, you are a trooper. You're going to get not a toaster, you're going to get an entire kitchen set on me. So, meanwhile, back in London, um, Vin Diesel hasn't had a scene in a while, so he goes to the London drag racing scene. Apparently, London has that. This is the part that you. Basically, the scene is added so that the trailers can have a lot of slutty chicks in low, low mini skirts, and there's actually a lot of girls dressed up like it's the 1960s, like Austin Powers. Like, I guess the costume person. And yes, a movie like Furious 6 actually does have a costume person. You might be surprised by that. This is a real movie, by the way. This isn't like some B shit that like Full Moon Entertainment put together. This is a movie that had a budget of let me ask Wikipedia how much of the budget was. This movie had a budget of $160 million. All right, that's more money than any of us will ever imagine in our lives, probably. And yet, all this goes down. So, excuse me. So, Vin Diesel's there. He's going to be in a drag race with Shelly Rodriguez because they used to be drag racers, apparently. Well, I mean, way back at the beginning of this series, this was a drag racing series. This was about drag racers. Now it's about car thieves or something. These movies have gotten so friggin' bloated, and yet it's awesome. It's only improved the more stupid it's gotten. It's like, this is what you need to do. This is how you do it. You make your movies even dumber. But don't go too dumb, or else you end up with Transformers movies, and I'm not friggin' spending an hour and a half talking about a fucking Transformer movie. You get that through your head right now. You don't even think about that. I'm not even spending a day. Not a day. I'm not even spending 30 seconds talking about a goddamn Transformers movie. Those things are the worst things that ever happened to anybody. And they raped my mom, and they raped my dog, and they raped me. And then they made me rape my dog, and my dog was forced to rape my mom, and my mom was forced to rape Jimmy Carter. Okay? I've been through a lot of goddamn shit, alright? I've had a hard fucking life, and my only pleasure is fucking Furious 6 Tokyo Drift movies. So, Vin Diesel and Letty, they have a drag race through the city. And it's shocking that actually in all the fight scenes and action scenes in this movie, the one thing that's actually like true to the Fast and Furious legacy, the drag racing, is by far the most boring scene because there's no tension of any kind because neither of these characters can get killed. One beer down, one beer to go. Maybe I'm at the halfway point. So they race. I don't know who wins. Then Letty leads him to some dark, abandoned place in London, by a factory somewhere, and they have a scene, and Vin Diesel's like, "Would you like to know how you got those scars?" Well, as it turns out, when we were 15, we were drag racers, and we were fiends, and I got into an accident with you. So why so serious? Except none of that. It's a lame scene. Vin Diesel, I thought you were a good actor at some point. I don't think you are anymore. You have a great gravelly voice. But you have null set chemistry with Michelle Rodriguez, okay? You two don't belong together of any way. Alright? Okay? But, so Varney Diesel and Alex Rodriguez, they're there, they have their scene. Alex Rodriguez is feeling really confused about her memories and whatever. She drives off. And I'm thinking, like, if this was a way, way smarter movie, this would all have been Shaw's plan to lead Vin Diesel into a trap, and Vin Diesel would be either dead or kidnapped. As it turns out, this is all his plan to go and talk to Vin Diesel, because Shaw shows up, and he offers him a Shawshank Redemption. Vin Diesel refuses it. This is the scene where Vin Diesel's like, If you give me Michelle Rodriguez, I'm gonna go home. And then Shaw's like, no. Makes no sense. I don't know why that happens. Um, then Shaw's sniper goes and it's right on Vin Diesel. And he's like, you know what? We didn't come to an accord. I'm just gonna have to shoot you. Sorry. No, he doesn't get shot because, as it turns out, The Rock is off in the distance with his own sniper rifle. This has all been set up. Apparently, actually, none of that made any sense. Like, because as it turns out, after the fact, The Rock has been following Vin Diesel and just happened to set up a sniper nest just in case he needed one. I don't know. I guess this is what The Rock does when he's following people. He just happens to take his sniper rifle around and just takes it just in case. Because they didn't set this up beforehand. Vin Diesel and The Rock, they don't really talk. This wasn't their plan. So entirely by dumb luck, they managed to have a draw with the supervillain, and the supervillain goes home. But they are able to chase him up dogs again. You see, the stupidity of this movie is making even the animal kingdom mad. You gotta watch out for that. The animal kingdom, they can sense these sort of things. You know, when dogs start running away, that's when you know Fast and Furious 7's coming out. Tokyo Drift. Um, so, yeah. They managed to go and find the villain's hideout because they managed to find him in a place. Oh, at some point during this movie, I don't remember when, The Rock goes to the British guys who look at camera place, British traffic police or whatever, and turns out they're all being bought and sold by Shaw. Then he shakes the hand of the guy, the main guy there. Shakes his hand so hard that the guy decides to be good again. Because, you know, former wrestlers, they can do that. That guy who smelled what The Rock was cooking, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to stop being evil. And, yeah. So, Gina Carano, she looks at the map, and she's like, this is where Shaw is, right here. I can tell because it's a nexus of planes, trains, and JJ the jet plane, and whatever the hell. And they go to where Shaw's base is, and Shaw's already gone. He managed to pack up all his stuff and all his guys, leaving nothing but paint. Okay? This is stupid. Alright? This paint that he leaves behind, this is really, really fucking stupid plot point. Alright? And actually, the fact that Gina Carano was able to lead them to the bad guy base, that's a stupid plot point of itself. But we'll find out why that's so stupid later. But anyway, this paint is some sort of super rare paint. It's only used in like 8 military bases across Europe, and one of them in Spain happens to be the one that happens to have the last piece of the recipe that they need to go and make the Colonel's shake and bake. Shaw is hungry for some double downs, or whatever the hell. And he wants this stuff going. So, yeah, this paint they managed to track using CSI crap. Hey, what? By the way, is there any special military paint? Or do militaries just use the same paint that everyone else on Earth uses? And, like, what are the odds that it would just happen to be this one clue that Shaw would leave behind? Like, if Shaw is a criminal mastermind, first of all, why does he have that paint? Why does he need it? Like, what's he using the paint for? Why is he getting the paint from this base? Like, did he go to the base and he's like, you know, guys, I need this rare paint so I can paint my floor, just in case guys wanted to track me? Like, I have no idea why he did that. That makes no sense. But, you know, lucky thing, The Rock manages to hone on to the paint immediately. It's almost like it's a bad plot point. Like, it's, like, really stupid. It makes no sense. But, yeah, maybe it is. I don't know. So, this is the NATO base. This is where the end of the movie, the climax place. So, everyone goes down to NATO land in Spain, and, The Rock and Gina Carano, the girl from Haywire, they get there first. And they're going and talking with the NATO commander there. He's like, oh, there's going to be these super villains. They're going to go and steal this thing from you, man. You got to watch out, man. They're going to be stealing your shit, man. And they immediately manage to capture one of Shaw's guys. So, Paulie Walker, who's in a plane someplace with the rest of the good guy team of LA drag racers who have now become thieves who are now working with the world government. He sees, oh, they captured this guy. It's way too obvious. They're falling right into Shaw's plan. As he just knows that. It would have been really funny if this movie was like, almost had a shred of intelligence, and like Paul Walker is thinking like it's some sort of cliche, but as it turns out, that actually was Shaw's plan. And this guy getting captured completely ruins it, and then the good guys manage to get in the way of everybody and screw everything up. But that's not the kind of movie we're dealing with, really. So the Rock's like, we gotta go and follow protocol. We gotta follow protocol because I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, they get it all in their cars, and they're gonna go on a convoy and drive someplace to get rid of the one part that they need to go and create the evil Nightshade device that'll blow up the Earth. Because that's Shaw's plan or something. I'm dying. Oh, the movie's killing me, man. But, alright, so they're on the convoy. This convoy consists of like 2 Jeeps and the biggest truck that's ever been. This is like the biggest, widest truck on a public highway someplace. This is a very unusual highway. I have to describe how this highway works. It's like 2 lanes, separate bridges, almost the entire way, except for the rare times that it goes over like mountains and there's other bridges and stuff. So the bad guys come in. Shaw's still using Michelle Rodriguez now. Still. Even though basically the only usage she could possibly have for him is being leveraged over Vincent Diesel and Paulie Walker, but he doesn't do that. He's like, I'll just have her, I'll just use her. You know what? Good help is hard to find. Maybe this guy does have a sense of like family and team stuff. He might have underneath all that evil British mustache twirlingness. Maybe there is like a warm, sensitive side to this guy. No, there isn't. His character is completely one friggin' dimensional. And the producers of this movie realize that he isn't quite evil enough. So the next scene happens. They manage to go and break into the convoy car, which doesn't have The Rock in it. Do you think The Rock would want to be right there watching this thing, protecting it? Or why did they just blow the goddamn thing up? Like, it's just like a disc. I don't even know what it is. Like, apparently the UN has like tons of these things, or NATO. Like, you don't need it. Like, it's not important to you. It's just the third component that that these bad guys need to go and build a super device of some kind. So it's like, you can just throw it in the trash or set it on fire, and that kind of ruins the bad guy's plan. But anyway, the bad guys break into the truck, and apparently this is NATO protocol, that every time you have a convoy of stuff, you have a truck, and inside the truck is a tank. Inside the tank is loaded ordnance that you weren't planning on using, but why on earth would the NATO put a tank inside that truck? Like, there's no reason they'd want to do that. Because it's a tank in a truck. You're just driving a thing to another place. You don't need a tank. You have Jeeps protecting you. A tank's not going to be able to even keep up with any of this shit. But anyway, the bad guys, they go and they set up like a wire trap. Remember the harpoon guns? They flip the truck over and the tank flies right out, and the bad guys are driving the tank. And this is one very unusual tank, because it can drive like 100 miles an hour. And it can drive right over cars without losing any speed. And this is when you know that Shaw is really evil, because he goes out of his way to go into the oncoming lane, the other lane, the lane of cars coming towards him, not the lane of cars going his way, to just kill people for no particular reason, just because his mustache hasn't been twirled quite enough yet. And now the good team's here, the good guys. Action Force 5 of car guys. They're all here and they're like, oh shit, how are we going to take care of a tank? Luckily, they have their own harpoon guns. So Ludacris, he drives in front of the tank, and he shoots the harpoon gun around the tank's barrel, the cannon. And his tank is getting eaten by the tank treads, His car's gonna get flattened like a pancake. But luckily, Paulie Walker comes and he jumps over, and everything's fine. Excuse me. So, uh, Tank's driving and driving and driving and driving, killing people. It drives right over that one car, and now whatever Ludacris has actually set up a thing, or maybe it's Tyrese Gibson who did this. I don't know. Sorry, guys, really bad at this. I don't know any of the chicks. I don't know any of the black guys, but for some reason, I can tell Vin Diesel and The Rock apart. That's real talent right there. Not a total asshole. So their plan, the good guys' plan, is that they're going to use this flattened car as an anchor, because this wire stuff that either Ludacris or Tyrese Gibson has set up is connected right to the tank's cannon, and apparently this wire can't break because of what they make bridges out of. And it's like a tank. It has to be super heavy. This thing is able to bring out a level of force that has not been matched by like any other vehicle imaginable, considering the speed it's going at. It has to be super heavy, super fast, and super powerful. And yet somehow or another, this crumpled ruin of a car is able to hold together as a single 1 ton, at best, of weight. And it doesn't break up at any part. So the heroes, they have to like nudge this car through the middle of the two bridges. And like it's kind of stupid already, because they're like kind of like they try to get like the hood of the car over and try to flip the thing down between the bridges. Like, it looks ridiculous already. They managed to do that. Shaw tells Michelle Rodriguez, get up on that cannon and take that wire off. I got things to do. He also blows up a bridge at some point, creating a whole bunch of rubble, and this stops. I don't know how the heroes managed to get past that rubble there, but Paul Walker is able to use the garbage as a ramp. Like all the ruins of this bridge, all this concrete. There's one part that happens to be flat enough for him to drive over, though. Obviously, what's really going to happen is he's going to get into a massive accident and get killed instantly. And even if the ramp worked, which is kind of ridiculous in of itself, the car, when it falls, is just going to go nose first. The nose is going to crumple, because that's how cars are engineered, crumple room. He's going to flip over, and he's going to be perfectly fine, because as we've previously seen in so many flip scenes, getting flipped over in cars, you're completely fine. You can survive any flip. In fact, so many people get flipped in this movie. It's like ridiculously. How many friggin' people have to get flipped over? And nobody who's ever in a car flipping accident is ever even slightly injured. But the kinds of accidents these people are getting into, where like the kind of shit you'd see are completely fatal. This is the sort of stuff you'd see on like gross.com back in the 2000s, or Reddit what the fuck now. Like, you'd seen bodies that are completely mashed to pieces, like, I'm talking like spaghetti on the front seat. Like, is that the Asian guy anymore? Is that Liu Kang anymore? No. That's not Liu Kang. That's a fucking mess of what once was a person. That's mass melted because this guy was in such a bad accident. And yet, in the next scene, these guys are walking around without even a scratch. Like, nothing bad happens. Yep, the secret is seatbelt. Click it or ticket. So, yeah, the Paul Walker does that ridiculous thing. But this pales in comparison with the stupid that is coming now. This is something so dumb. I swear to God, after I saw this, I forgot every single thing they taught me in 5th grade. You know, what are the planets of the solar system? I don't know. Fast and Furious 1, Too Fast, Too Furious, and Tokyo Drift. Those are the planets. We live on Tokyo Drift. So the crumpled car that they were using as an anchor that has an impossible, unbreakable cord on it, it manages to fall between the bridges, finally, and it gets stuck on the underside of one of the bridges, and this stops that thing. That thing's stuck now. So now the cord tightens up, creates this huge whiplash effect that manages to flip the tank over. When, you know, the whiplash that you'd expect would be to destroy that car already and just rip out whatever particular part the wires connected to. Because it's a car. It's made out of like aluminum or plastic or something. maybe carbon fiber at best. But you got to remember that as well built as any car could possibly be, this car has first been flattened by a tank, and is competing against a tank, a super tank that can go way, way faster than any other tank on Earth, and crumple cars like it's nothing. So the tank gets flipped over in completely bullshit. Shaw and the one henchman he has inside of them, they're fine. Don't worry about them. Even though probably the whiplash, the force of the tank getting flipped over probably should have just killed them. As you remember, Rosario Dawson, Michelle Rodriguez, Michelle Rosario, she's on the cannon, and she goes flying in the air, and Vin Diesel, he sees this coming somehow, so his plan is he opens up like the door of his car or something, or he like climbs up on the hood, and he smashes his car right against the railing, so his car comes to a dead stop, and the force of that shoots him in the air. Like he's got shot out of a fucking circus cannon, and he catches her midair like he's Superman, Super Diesel, and they land on the roof of a car that just happened to be there. The car that was completely stopped, and they land on the windshield, and as it turns out, windshields are like the softest thing, like the most wonderfully feathery thing. Like, have you ever slept on a windshield? It's so soft, it's wonderful. Bullshit. They land on this windshield and they're instantly killed. Their necks snap instantly. They're broken to pieces and they die horribly in each other's arms. But no, actually no, they survive because windshields really are that. So you thought the tank thing was the end of the movie, didn't you? I thought it was the end of the movie too. No, this movie's way, way longer than that. Oh my god. Oh, why won't this thing just end? So, Hobbs the Tiger and the base guy and the team, they're there and Shaw's there, and Shaw's not concerned at all that he's been captured by the police and the army or whatever, because he's had a contingency plan. As it turns out, half of his evil team he sent to Brazil to capture Punky Brewster and the blonde chick and the baby, but his team sucks, and they only actually got Punky Brewster. And he has her kidnapped, and he shows this to Polly Walker, and Polly Walker's like, "No, my wife! Oh my God, no! Oh my God, my wife, no!" And everyone else is like, "You monster! You kidnapped one woman! No!" And when the Shaw's like, "Yeah, you gotta let me go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I got places to go, you know." And then, like, the army guy's like, "Wait a second. All right, this is international security, guys. All right, I know this woman's really important to all of you, but this guy is a supervillain. If he gets the recipe to the Colonel's secret chicken and the Spice Girls and whatever, he's going to spice up all our lives, and he's going to blow up the Earth. All right, guys? So we got to go and take stock of what our priorities here. I mean, I know it's really bad that he captured this woman, and he's a super dick, but we can't just let her go." And none of this has occurred to The Rock at all, because he pulls out a gun and he points it right at the base guy, which is an act in of itself, like possibly even of war. Because I don't know what country. Maybe I'm assuming The Rock just represents G.I. Joe, because he's the new hero of that franchise. But I don't know. But this is like way, way super treasonous activities. You know, like crazy. Like that's ever. If you could name the number of laws he broke right there, like, goddamn. And, like, why does The Rock care? He doesn't even know that. Does he know Jordana Brewster? Maybe he was just, like, a big fan of The Faculty and he liked her there. I'm a big fan of The Faculty. It was a good horror movie. Actually written by Robert Rodriguez. Directed by him, too. It's surprising. You wouldn't expect that. Robert Rodriguez did The Faculty. What am I talking? What movie is this? Oh, Furious 6 Tokyo Drift. Yeah. Yeah. Shaw walks right out with his two henchmen who are there, and he's like, "Are you coming, babe?" And you think he's talking about Michelle Rodriguez, but no. Twist time! It's actually Gina Carano. Yeah. The chick from Haywire, she's been a double agent this whole time. And Shaw just lets the good guys know this for no particular reason. Like, this is like a really good trump card he's had for a while, and he's just gonna let her switch sides for the final fight. Like, this would have been she would have been way more useful on the good guy's side, like for a last minute betrayal there when the chips were down during this next big chase scene. And that doesn't make any sense either, because if you recall, the only reason why the good guys even know that Shaw was coming to this base was because Gina Carano told them about it. Like, she's the one that went and led them to this thing. Alright, she's the one that's brought all of this here. All this is happening right now because Gina Carano happened to give them and predict that one piece of information. All of this is because of her. And I don't, she's working for this guy. Why the hell would she tell them about any of that? What the hell was she thinking? And, like, that's the best, like, he never uses her in any way. Like, I guess this is his way of predicting everything they were going to do, but it's stupid. It makes no goddamn sense. It's the dumbest friggin' plot twist ever. It's not even necessary. I guess it's necessary so they can set up another fight between Gina Carano and Michelle Rodriguez, which isn't really all that exciting because Michelle Rodriguez already beat her in a fair fight, so who cares? Like, that's not even a thing. I'm just mad because I actually liked the movie Haywire, and yeah, I actually like this. But Haywire was like a legitimately good movie. This is like an ironically good movie. This is a movie that's so stupid, it's awesome. And this is so fucking stupid. This is stupid, 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 stupid! What were you thinking? How does any of that make any sense? Seriously, how? How does any of that make any sense? I want you to tell me right now. Ugh, I need more beer. God damn it. But it gets worse. Alright. Shaw takes his plane, has a big ass plane, and he's flying out, and the big ass plane lands at the military base. And he's got the super thing that he needs to complete the Colonel's recipe. And he's going to get on the plane and he's going to fly someplace. I really don't know where he's going to go now that he's pissed off all of NATO, probably the United States, the UK, Russia. Like, where is he going? North Korea? Like, this is a big-ass cargo jet. I don't think it's got that much range on it. So, like, why don't you just let him get in the air and just scramble some jets and shoot him down? Like, what's he gonna do when he's up in the air? You can't fly his cars up in the sky. You got your jets there. He's just out. Like, he's got no backup plan. He's got no strategy of any kind. He gets on that plane, he is screwed. But nobody figures this out. Instead, they're gonna have huge, crazy chase scene against him. And even dumber, bad guy has brought Jordana Brewster from Brazil to Spain, thus completely ruining his leverage, because his advantage was that he had her, and they were thousands of miles away, and the good guys couldn't have done nothing to help her. So, like, one twitch of his thumb, and she'd get shot in the face. But no, he brings her there so that she can get rescued. Like, why would he do that? Why would he bring her to Spain? Why is that a thing? There's no reason for him to bring her to Spain. I don't know why she's in Spain. What did she want? Like some tapas? Was she hungry? Does the baby need some papaya? Some papaya? Paella? What? What are you doing there? She wanted like to go to the Costa del Sol. She's in Brazil, so there's plenty of good beaches there. I think. Pretty sure Brazil has good beaches. They have a lot of Brazilian waxes. I'm sure there's good beaches there. So, this is where final fight time. Big final confrontation time. All the good guys get in their cars, and they're chasing this giant plane, which is like the size of the spruce goose, alright? And they're all chasing the plane. Good guys drive right up into the plane's, the cargo load thing, which is just open the whole time. And the plane's been driving this entire time, and I should mention this final chase scene is about 10 minutes long, and this plane's driving at like 80 miles an hour, and all the cars are going like 80 miles an hour at least. So this runway that they must be on, like they never turn or anything. This runway is like 10 miles long or something. It's ridiculous. There's no friggin' runway on Earth that is that goddamn long. But why? After Vin Diesel was able to catch Michelle Rodriguez in the air and land on the windshield of a car like he's Superman, I don't know why I'm caring about runways anymore. You know. So, this next fight scene is honestly awful. Like, not even like in an ironic way can I say this is good. Like the first chase scene with the spatula cars and the kung fu fights in the British subways, that was all good. This fight scene is just like it's worthless. It's so bloated because you got like 18 heroes versus 18 villains, and they're all having like their individual fights. Or it's not that bad. There's 6 fights going on at the same time. 6. Think about that. Think about like the editing challenge that editors are Christian Wagner and Kelly Matsumoto. Think about what those two had to go through to make any of this make any friggin' sense. Because what's happening is that The Rock, no, not The Rock, Vin Diesel and Paulie Walker, they're inside the plane. They're fighting Shaw and his giant 800-pound German motherfucking Hulk of a henchman. And this is the funniest damn thing of the movie. All right, this is worth the price of admission altogether. Vin Diesel to go and fight the giant German Hulk guy. He jumps head first right at the German guy and headbutts him at like 800 miles per hour. He just head first headbutt knocks him down. It's like so he launches like out of a cannon again, head first. It's amazing. And that man just knocked down German guy for a second. They kind of forget that Shaw's around. Shaw just kind of hangs out for a while because the editing's not that great. Meanwhile, outside, you can't see any of the cars that are driving around, so you have virtually no idea who is who. Affleck. Oh, shit. Yeah, you have virtually no idea whose car is who, and who's fighting who, and which car's good, and which car's bad. Paulie Walker manages to get Jordana Brewster. They drive away. Blonde evil chick goes after them with one of the pancake flipping cars, the spatula cars. They manage to outsmart her. She flips all over the place in a huge, ridiculous accident, and I guess this actually kills her. It didn't kill any of the heroes, but she must be dead because she's not good. She's an evil European chick. Probably sexually deviant too, Europeans. Europeans are subhuman, this movie thinks. So, what the hell else is going on? Asian guy and that one chick whose name I never caught. I don't really know who she is. They're fighting somebody someplace, and at some point she decides to jump off the cars they're on and lets herself get killed. And while she's shooting her gun at nothing in particular, and she dies. This is supposed to be like a big tragedy. It's supposed to be like a big emotional character moment. I don't know who she is. I don't know why she was important. So I don't care. I don't give 2 shits. I'm completely fine with it. What the good guy's plan is that they go and they fire their magic harpoons and like tie their cars around to the wings of the plane so that there's too much weight and the plane can't lift off. Even though this plane is gigantic and probably could pick up the entire house I'm recording this in right now, and I don't really think that that's going to be much of an anchor on a plane, but one car was able to flip over a tank before, so who the hell knows. There's lots of fighting. Shaw gets kicked out the side. It's almost impossible to follow. The best part is actually The Rock fights the big German guy, and then Vin Diesel and The Rock team up to go and beat up the big German guy. You see this in the trailers, like they hit him from both sides and the guy goes down. Finally, the plane blows up. Everyone else is fine except for Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's still in there, but he gets in a car and shoots out the nose of the plane. Just think about that. He's in a car driving through the nose of a plane, alright? The nose of a plane is a fairly solid thing, especially a plane this big. It has to be several feet thick. You know? Just imagine that. Of, like, aluminum. You know, like, what kind of a car is just going to go right through that? Then land on its feet? Isn't windshields don't even get broken? What kind of universe is this? Where am I? I am in Wonderland. I said before, this is Wonderland. This is Wonderland. Um, so then at the end, everyone's fine except for Asian guy. His girlfriend's dead. Uh, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Tokyo Drift Land, where presumably he's gonna go to Tokyo Drift. I don't know. That seems important somehow. I don't know. Maybe Tokyo Drift is like out of sequence with the other movies, or the next one's going to take place in Tokyo and star this guy. I don't know anything about Tokyo Drift. The only thing I know about that movie is the trailers where there was cars drifting up the circular ramps of like parking garages, and that kind of looked cool. That's kind of all I know about that. Is Torque the movie about motorcycle foo? Is that also in continuity with the rest of these stupid movies? I'd like it to be. I like Torque. I'd like to see Adam Scott in one of these movies, even though I'm pretty sure he died in that. And, you know, Ludacris is in this, so, you know, probably Ice-T? Is that who's in that? Oh, I don't remember. Shit. So, this is the end of the movie. All the bad guys are dead. The evil component that they need to steal the Colonel's recipe, that's fine. And The Rock's like, you know what? I'm going to give you guys anything you want. That thing's worth billions, so what's your price? And Vin Diesel's like, I want to go back to my house from the first couple movies. And The Rock's like, okay, and they all have a barbecue, and they leave their beautiful Brazilian houses behind to go to this horrible, friggin' terrible looking house with weeds growing through, and god-awful LA. LA sucks. LA's one of the worst damn cities I've ever been to. LA's terrible. Guys, if anyone who's listening to this happens to live in LA, move. Go to London. That congestion charge, that's better than living in LA. LA's awful. It's a terrible place. The people are awful, too. Including you guys who are listening to this. You're awful. You heard me. Awful. Now, they all have a barbecue. And that's... Oh, yeah. A blonde chick that Vin Diesel was having sex with at the beginning of the movie. She's a cop now. And she's working with The Rock. Was she a cop the whole time? I don't remember her ever being a cop. If she was a cop, why was she sleeping with Vin Diesel, who was a villain? And also, they mentioned that Vin Diesel is able to live in Brazil because there's no extradition treaties there. Because does Brazil really not have any extradition treaties? I'd love to know if that's actually true. But I'm pretty sure the cops in Brazil could arrest him for a crime committed in Brazil, such as that ridiculous heist they pulled at the end of the fifth movie, Fast 5 Tokyo Drift. You know? But, yeah, that's kind of it with this movie. That's kind of where the credits rolled. There might have been some shit at the end, but I honestly, I just wanted to get out of the theater. Because I was kind of, like, in a state. I was in a weird state. I woke up several nights later in a dumpster covered in trash with my liver taken out. And I'm recording this now, and don't know really why. Actually, on second thought, why was this movie worth any of this crap? I don't know. I'm going to finish my beer. You can listen. God damn. That's good beer. So everybody, I hope you all enjoyed listening to this, and hope you all enjoyed putting up with this insane rant about this insane movie. And, you know, thanks for listening. Been a great crowd. And I happen to see a movie quite as dumb again, so I can do this again. This is actually a lot of fun. So I'll be seeing you around. New stuff's coming all the time, you know, all that stuff. So, bye-bye. This is BlueHighwind. Thank you very much.